foundation as last, because sometimes when you have the foundation on and it's perfect and now you start working on the eye, you know, stuff may fall and then you have to redo everything, so it will take a lot of time. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to show you how to do the smoky look. Look that way for me. Even if you are not confident and you're not sure, you know, because the client that's sitting in your chair already wears a lot of makeup and you're not sure, you're not confident enough, don't show it. Even if you make a mistake, like if I did something like this and now I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? All I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Q-tip and use our best friend, our eye makeup remover. This is the old one, but it doesn't matter which one. This is your best friend. So even if I make a mistake, I'm not going to show her that I made a mistake. I've done that many times, even on brides. Imagine I have a bride on my seat, and then I make a mistake, and then I show her that I made a mistake. Imagine how she's going to feel like. The trust is not going to be there anymore, right? So I'm just going to take my mistake off. And if you have a Q-tip, that will basically take it off much easier. So always have Q-tips on hand. Okay. If you have clients who are wearing contacts and you haven't practiced this technique, you may not want to do it because you're still putting pressure on their eye. It depends on how you feel, whether you want to do it or not. But I find every time I do this technique, this is sold. Okay, you good? Okay, look that way. Close for me. With the smoky look, a lot of makeup artists will start with the lightest color and they build. I just find that to be a waste of time, so I always start with the darkest color. And if you look, I'm going a bit higher. Open. Do you see that? Open for me, look down. You just need to make sure that between the lashes, so that's what you're going to have. Again, I'm going to take my angle brush, maybe, and I'm going to smudge it upwards. You don't have to smudge it way too much. Just a little bit. I actually recently posted a picture of Madeline where I did a smoky look on her. Okay. Do you see that? Even that on its own and a little bit of mascara, that's a smoky look. Okay? What I'm going to use now is, I might do a smoky with our blue slate and Cabernet. Because a lot of people are okay using lighter colors because it won't show if you make a mistake, but those two colors are very gorgeous. I love these two. So you may want to play around with these two as well. I'm going to take a brush. You can honestly use any eyeshadow brush that we have. I haven't ordered the new brush set, but you know, the fact that it has the foundation brush in it is amazing because I was using a different brand. But you can use any shading brush. I'm taking the blue slate and I'm going right on top of the black. Keep in mind, because our eyeshadows don't have the chemicals in them, they tend to fall easily. So when you want to grab more color and deposit it on her eye, you just want to dab it. And just dab it and press a little bit of pressure. That's what you want to do. Otherwise, you're not going to get a lot of color. Please do not use, now I know some people disagree with me, but don't use the eye primer, the makeup primer that we have on the eyelids. It is not meant for that. It's meant for foundation. You could use it under the eyes, perfect. It's great for concealer. I just find that because we don't have pores on our lids and we're using that primer, it just will create that base of oil, in my opinion. So it won't hold your makeup for a long time. And I'm only going up to where I have the black. You know what, maybe a little bit higher. Just a little bit under her crease. Okay. to go back and forth with this, I will lose the color. So you want to just try to dab it on. Now I'm going to take, you know what, I may just use this other purple. Divine Plum, I like that color as well. It's a pretty color. And you can use these, this technique you can use with any two colors. You pick whatever color you're comfortable with. The chocolate color we have is gorgeous as well. I think it's in the duo also. The chocolate is beautiful too, so you can do the same technique with the chocolate. Now what I'm doing is I'm going, do you see the line here? The blue line? I'm going right on it. Just to kind of get rid of that blue. And at the same time, I have now the purple on there. Open for me. You want to go up to her crease. Now, because we have color on color, when you look at it, it looks like I have actually sat down and blended it perfectly. So this is the best way for you. It's much easier to do this rather than going from light to darkest. Okay? And now I'm going to take, every time you have a deep color on, a dark color on, once it comes to this point where I have to get rid of this now, the purple line, you have to use a brown. So any sort of a brown that you have, and in this case it's going to be Java for us. So I'm going to take Java, very little, not too much. You want to dab it off. You really don't want the Java to show. And now I'm going back and forth on the purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the purple line. You see that? The purple line is gone. Then we're going to take our lemon. And we're just going to go on her brow bone. Don't be afraid of using a lot of it. I love this color. I think whenever you have contouring, you want to have highlighting. So when we have contouring on her eyelid, you want to add highlighting as well, because then it will show the contouring a little bit more. We have to use a little bit more purple. Look up for me for a second. Can you guys see? When she closes, you might have to come to the front later. Again, I'm going to use for her eyebrows. When you're doing eyebrows and you just dipped it in the eyeshadow, you may want to start with the darkest, with the outer part first, and then the inner part, because you don't want this inner part to take a lot of color, otherwise it will look like too much. You want it to look very natural. And then we're going to do the front. If you have somebody who has lighter hair color, like that lady in the back. Sorry, I didn't know your name.
I'm Tracy.
Tracy could use Java, a little bit of Java. Or even, because your eyebrows are lighter than your hair, so even with sand, she may get away. Black I would only use if you have people with dark hair. But you have to be extremely light-handed when it comes to the black. Especially if your client is not used to filling in her eyebrows, you don't want to freak them out, right? Now, because it's a smoky look, you want to do whatever you did on the top, on the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the same pencil. She's crying on me. And I'm going to do the waterline. See? Try to just keep it on the waterline. You don't want to have a thick black line on the bottom lash. And you can take the angled brush again just to You know, because when you do the inside, the waterline, it's going to still touch in between her lashes, and you just want to blend it in or smooth it out. So I'm going to have her look up. And that on its own may just be enough. I may not want to deposit any eyeshadow color. Okay. So this could be it. Or if I think she's a little bit more outgoing, I may add a little bit of that same blue that I did. Corner. And especially if you have, whenever you do a pencil or a crayon, the way for it to stay on longer is if you add shadow to it. Or if you want your shadow to stay on for a little bit longer, you may just want to use a pencil prior to that, and it will kind of hold it. I'm doing a thicker line in the corner, and as you come closer to the inner corner, you may want to use your lighter color again. So we have the Divine Plum, and I'm going to use that in the middle. And if you look, I'm just connecting. So wherever I stopped with the blue, I'm connecting now. And whatever is left on your brush, you want to bring it in a little bit. If the person's eyes are, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, how about adding a little bit of light color in the front? You know how some people have the sparkle or the shimmer in the front? We can do that only if their eyes are set very close to each other. So if they are set close, then you could do that. So it gives you the visual of them being apart. But if somebody's eyes are already a little bit separated and they have a gap, you don't want to do that. You want to add maybe more of a darker color. Otherwise, it will look even more away. So for her, she has, let's see what you have. Her eyes are set a little bit apart. If you look at her eyes, she has a gap in between, so we're not going to do that for her. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Obviously, you're not communicating everything to your client. So I may add a little bit of that blue here. You have blue here, and in the center you have the Divine Plum. So that could be a beautiful smoky eye. You can really do this quickly because all you're doing is having one color, and then you're adding another color on top of it so that it looks like you actually worked a lot on it. You could even have this look with, you know, a beautiful color that we have is titanium, one of my favorite colors. When you put it on, it has this beautiful silvery touch to it. So what you may want to do is you may want to use your black ebony and then leave a little bit of space. So when you want to apply this on, don't go all the way on top of the black ebony. So leave a bit of ebony and then go up to her crease and then use Java to blend the line, and then you can use linen to highlight. Make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. Now, when it comes to me closing a sale, it's also very important with verbiage, what you're saying when it comes to sales. A lot of people fear of asking for them, what are you going to buy, is a fear for a lot of people. They don't want to sound pushy. It honestly has nothing to do with pushy. You know, we have these sheets with the face where you can write down what you use, or even if you don't have that, a blank piece of paper or their order forms. Write down everything you have used. And basically what I do is, okay, so Madeline, I use, and obviously I always have a tissue here, so whatever I have used, let's say I've used the smoky look, I'll just put here so that I know what I have used. At the end of my presentation or makeup, I'm not scrambling to look at the things that I have used. So if I have used these on her eyes, I will say, so Madeline, these are the things that I used on your eyes today. We did the ebony on the inside, then we did the blue slate for your smoky look, as you requested a smoky look, and then I used the mascara on you, and obviously the foundation and all of that. So out of all of these, which ones would you like to get today? Just be upfront and ask them which ones they would like to get. She may say, well, you know, I have something similar to this, I may get these two, or I have most people already have a black pencil, they may not. But when it's somebody in your chair who already uses a lot of makeup, that means you want to use a lot of makeup on them. So at the end of it, you're not left with just, you know, I only use these two on you. Because she already loves makeup, so you want to use as much product on her So at the end, even if she says, I have these two and I have that, she will still buy something. Okay? If you have somebody in your chair who says, I rarely use makeup, I don't have a lot of stuff, I don't even want to get a lot of stuff, you want to use the minimum on them. Because if you overdo it, they get overwhelmed. And that's when they just get scared and all of a sudden they're like, you know what, I don't want to buy anything. So that look would be great on them because all I used was the ebony, I used the linen, and I used smoke and a mascara. Anybody should be able to do that. Or you could sell the duos we have, right? Because it comes with the mascara and it comes with, I'm going to use the mascara on her again, on this side. By the way, with your mascara, if you're not careful and it falls, it's going to break. It's like ceramic. So be careful with